Welcome to the Loyalty Builders podcast, where together with the top loyalty and product experts, we discuss how to maximize customer acquisition, engagement, and retention by using a loyalty engine. Building loyalty is complex, but with the right toolkit and market-proven knowledge, you will maximize the use of your products and services faster than learning from your own mistakes. Subscribe to our newsletter and twice a week get tried and tested tactics to build and improve customer loyalty. Hi everyone, this is the second part of the interview with Geoffrey Schiavon, Head of Marketing and Client Success, and Jonas Minke, Head of Product at dacadoo. The goal of this episode is to share real-life use cases to help you design and implement loyalty and gamification mechanics to drive business results. In the second part, we explore different gamification mechanics, real-life use cases, and share advice for businesses interested in using composable tech to build customer engagement and loyalty. So, without further ado, here's Geoffrey and Jonas. And now if we could go back to gamification a bit, because, we've seen that it's one of the hottest topic when it comes to loyalty for sure. And I've seen it that, like almost in every sort of like a business, people talk about gamification. So you are innovators in this field. So this is great that I can actually, ask you these questions. If we could dive into some of the gamification mechanics that are available in the dacadoo's platform and that you've seen your customers using. If you could just give us, a hint or what kind of gamification mechanics there are and how they can be used in order to drive those business results.
Sure. So we have a variety of features that in the area of gamification. So many apps have, for example, achievements. You get a badge if you do something nice. That's something we have for a while. I mentioned before the goals where we try to form habits, and we do this based on behavior science, and we allow users really to either track with their wearables, so we get data directly into our platform, or they do the check-in, as I mentioned. Now, during this goal, we give tips and we give coaching messages to the user so that they keep doing it and they see the benefit them doing. Like again, in the smoking, we really try to emphasize what are the changes in the body during the stop smoking. We also have the challenges that we mentioned. So those are areas where people can compete individually or in a group. Now, only activity challenges, we realize that only activity challenge can be something where it's not appealing to everyone. So there are people that don't like to do activities, that are maybe people that cannot do certain activities. So we also have challenges where we have know-how quizzes. So people can compete in a quiz where the people that know the most or they answer the most questions correctly get the most points. This is in one area, but we also have a photo challenge where you upload a picture based on certain criteria that we see. So, for example, a challenge where maybe here Geoffrey can help me. What is a nice photo challenge that we did recently?
We do have, it's always a matter of content. We do have the classic one, which is take a photo of your workout, all those kind of things. But also we have been, with one of our clients, we have been linking the photo and nutrition, meaning that they gave a recipe to do, okay, and people were posting the result, the outcome of that recipe. So they had everything. They had, of course, some people are not cookers, so ugly things, for instance, okay, but still, at least they made the effort, and we had some professional using that. So that was really funny to see the outcomes of that.
I love it. And what you're saying here is critical. It's absolutely important that when you think about just the technological, I'm thinking about, let's say, challenges and badges, right? It's quite easy to design an experience where you get a badge for something, but here that you've mentioned, when you also provide the value that it brings, what it actually matters, what does it mean exactly that you have, let's say, been working out for 2 weeks straight? And then if you can provide the data behind it, that look at your health, look how you have improved over that time, right? So then suddenly you understand why getting a badge is meaningful. And I think that this is a great inspiration for a lot of, companies out there thinking like, okay, how do I use the technology that is available? But actually, how do I make sure that people understand that the habits that they have created for themselves is the way to go, right? Absolutely. Thank you. Let's just go on, because, those great examples and really powerful ones. Is there any other gamification mechanic that you would like to present?
Yeah. So together with the challenges that are very social, we have a closed social network feature where people can be friends with each other. So let's say two people are friends. They can see each other's workouts. They can cheer. They can also give likes, comments, and you can upload a picture during the workout or the activity that you did. So that's one way to incentivize people to actually do more. For example, when I use our application, I see that during the weekend, people are very active when there is nice weather. So I see a lot of workouts ongoing. When the weather is not so nice, you see people maybe start meditating or doing things more inside. It's a nice thing to see what your friends are doing, not like on Facebook where they try to show only the nice side of life, where they really are curating too much of what is happening. You start seeing really things that people do for real, and it's not faked in this sense. Of course, also here, privacy is a very big topic for us. You can always choose not to share. You don't need to be friends with others to compete. So those are all aspects that we always take very seriously.
Thank you for bringing that up, because obviously I wouldn't the idea that somebody might use the data about me without my consent. It's certainly negative. But on the other hand, the opportunity that actually I have when I can actually meaningfully connect with people that I would like to, and then we both agree, or the whole group agrees that, okay, let's share it. And then it's another, let's say, deeper level of motivation, right? As you've mentioned, if you have a group of people who support each other in making their life more healthy. So suddenly this feature that you have introduced is brilliant, because it also gives me the comfort of the group, and I get the feedback that people will respond to my actions, right? So suddenly my actions become even more significant.
And we can see big differences based on the markets, I would say, where Latin America, social is really one of the key aspects, where you can see that people will continue to enroll into your platform because someone told them about that challenge, about that goals, etc. Where North America, they might be a little bit more cautious about the privacy. And as Jonas was saying, we are giving them all the tools to manage that if they just want to display, for instance, the first name or a nickname or not at all. Okay, all these kind of tools are very important, because we have to make sure that this is based on market habits.
Sure, absolutely. But now I can see the value of the data that is coming in, and there are so many different ways in that you can use it. Our audience will be really inspired by the examples that you have provided and by the opportunities that such a platform provides. So absolutely great. I also wanted to ask about the kind of a balance between fun and functionality, because I've seen quite, very often people think about gamification as something that is not really core to your business. It's something that it's an add-on, and sometimes it might even go next to the business, let's say, because it's this fun thing that, but it's supposed to look good and feel good, but it doesn't bring results. If you could tell us a bit more how to find the proper balance between, let's say, the fun the enjoyment that gamification brings, and the real business context that actually makes people do things that are also like good from the business perspective.
Sure. So one easy one is like goals. By completing the goals or by being really active in habit changing and better lifestyle gives a clear health outcome. So that's a clear business outcome that is desired by life and health insurances, but also on the B2C, B2B, sorry, on the corporate wellness environment. Now, for other verticals like banking or retailers, the association to your brand. So by providing a platform that helps you really be healthier and living a better life, having a better lifestyle, brings you to a better association with their brand, and makes you maybe go and buy more from that company. So that's one way where the helping users really be more healthier can get a direct benefit to the brand.
Gamification is such a broad topic, and it's so interesting that I could probably talk with you for hours about that. But because, I know that our time for this episode is limited at this point, so, I will switch from gamification at this point. And wanted also to ask you about scaling, because very often, you start with something and you design it with, let's say, a particular moment. And then, your business is designed to scale, is designed to go bigger, is expand. So how about that? How scalable and versatile are, such platforms or dacadoo's products?
Yeah. So our platform is really modular. So our platform is very modular. Customers can pick and choose the features that they want to develop as first things. We have, for example, a customer that started with the goals, they went further to achievements and then went maybe to the coach. So it's really about what is the best for the population that you have and country and regions that you are offering something. We see, for example, that older people are usually more interested in health. So if your population is an older one, you have to take care of their needs. And there might be some features that you want to prioritize to implement first and go to the next ones later. So that's one way where our customers scale inside of our platform. So by adding more features or expanding into other areas or creating more types and more categories of content. So that's another way to expand and scale the availability of content in the platform.
Awesome. I also have one question, because our audience are, we design this content for loyalty builders. So, people who actually would like to use technology in order to drive acquisition, engagement, and retention. So I know that it's going to be a very general question and it's not going to be an easy one to answer, but based on your experience as actually, like a builder, what would be your advice to businesses that would like to use, composable technology in order to build this sort of engagement between them and their customers?
For us, what is critical is to make sure that you define clearly your value proposition. Okay, you need to define your value proposition in order to make sure that your product will have a market fit. Okay, we have seen sometimes a prospect not spending enough time into their value proposition, and that was created a conflict with the expectation of the users. Okay, because based on that value proposition, you can then select the type of feature that you would need to fit with your platform and what you would like to develop. You can also start thinking about what do you want to bring to those people, okay? Because of course you will bring that gamification, but with gamification might come rewards as well, okay? So you have a reward scheme attached to that specific gamification, which is going to be very important because we know that rewards and incentives drive a lot of engagement and retention. So I would say this is the first component. Second one is to make sure that when the platform goes to market, you have a plan to have always new or renewed content into the platform. On our side, we want to make sure that each content is answering what we call the ref factor, which means that it has to be relevant, easy, and fun. And this is the type of best practices that we share with our clients to make sure that they follow those kind of rules. Relevant means you are going to create segments in order to address specific articles, specific goals, specific features to a specific audience. And this is going to be key also in order to drive engagement. It will be the same for the rewards, okay? You might have some rewards such as a voucher into a big electronic store that might not really be attractive for older population, for instance. So there is all those components as well that makes sense. And I would say the third thing is you need to make sure that you have a team behind that, because, as I said, the platform won't be run by itself, and you need a team behind that to make sure that they can gather the data and customize the platform as they need.
Right. Absolutely.
Or the content.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thanks, Eric. So one thing that we didn't mention was how we work with rewards. We want to reward users for doing positive actions. So this means when they complete goals or when they perform activities that are healthy, for example, you go for a walk or run, or you do meditation, and many other things in our app, we can reward them for doing such activities. And this can be very simple. So let's say you do 30 minutes of activity once a day. For a week, you get a certain amount of points. Those points, you can go to a reward shop and you can buy something either completed with points, or you can convert some of those points in a partial amount of money. Now, with some customers, we also do raffles. So you get points, you enter into a raffle, and all those people that join that raffle, one of those can win, for example, an iPhone. This is a very good example of you doing something small. You don't have to wait years to maybe buy something substantial, and you try to really be more active and enter in multiple raffles during the year. So that's one way to not go into the direction of the flight industries, where you get so many points, you don't know what you're doing, and in the end you have so many points in the balance and you never get any ways to buy an airplane ticket because they expire, and after a year, well, okay, you went twice on holidays and that's it. So that's one way to really make it gamify, and also giving smaller pieces during the lifetime. We also have an Apple Watch program where we can give a watch to the user and make them pay on a monthly basis. Now, every time the user closes a ring during the day, so this is the activity minutes, the calorie ring, and then the stand ring, they get points. And if they complete during the month, the more rings they complete during the month, the less they have to pay for the watch on the month. That's a very good way to keep users active, engaged, and you introduce the fear of needing to pay something. So they become active because they know, the less I'm active, the more I pay. So I rather be active and use this device to make me more active. So that's a way to really keep the people in the loop, to be more healthy.
Absolutely. And this is also this is what you've mentioned, that you show people the actual value, that whatever they do, right, it has this impact and it matters. So great example. Mm-hmm.
We also have more advanced mechanisms that we're working with some customers. So for example, if you do an activity where your heart rate goes to a certain limit, so you are really pushing the maximum out of you, we can reward for that specific thing. So the more time you were really pushing to the maximum, the more points you get. So that's one way to really go into very detailed use cases that our customers need. Or, for example, during Easter or Christmas, you don't want users to eat too many sweets. So you try to convince them to eat more healthy, and that's one way also.
Awesome. I mean, this is a very good example. I'm just I was smiling the whole way through, because I remembered my last Easter, and it was really packed with food that was delicious, but not necessarily if I just kept on going with this sort of food for the rest of the month, I wouldn't be a healthy person. So absolutely. Thank you for providing this. Also, this is another key thing here, where you said that when you think about point collection, you also should think about the way people redeem those points. And I think that the example that you've brought with the airline industry, where you don't necessarily fly every single month, but still you end up collecting quite a huge amount of points within the year, but still you don't get to use it. So it's in a way frustrating. But here, if you think carefully about the value that you bring, and actually where you allocate the point redemption in the right place, then it suddenly comes together and it begins to bring great results for sure.
And on our side, because we look at the data, we know already the very positive impact of people earning points, but we also know the extreme, very positive impact of people redeeming points. Okay. So of course, it's always a matter for our clients to manage, the redemption, because they cannot burn their budget. Okay. But definitely one of their challenges is to make sure that more people are burning their points in order to have more reward, in order to make them more engaged, etc., etc. So it has definitely an impact on the retention, on the engagement as well. Just to share a quick KPI with you, we have been doing this an A/B testing, between challenges, one without reward, another one, other group with reward at the same time. Okay, and the participation rate was 70% higher for the challenge with reward. Okay, so it's just insane to see the power of that. Of course, the reward was nice, extra, but definitely there is something appealing for people.
Sure, and 70%, as you mentioned, is a huge. It's very often it's even more than the standard for any sort of typical average reward redemption rate, which is 60, I believe. Perfect. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for bringing the experience and sharing all those interesting use cases with our audience, and the experience with our community. So thank you so much for joining us, and I'm pretty sure that I will get back to you in the near future, and then we could maybe isolate one of the aspects or maybe even a particular mechanic, and also talk about it in depth, what you can do with it, how you can customize it. So I can see that there's so much more opportunity for us.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you very much, Eric.
It was a pleasure talking to you.
What a great conversation. There's no better way to learn about your product than from your customers. Now, let's wrap up with a few action steps. First, you'll find helpful links in the podcast description. Second, make sure to subscribe to our newsletter for more valuable content related to the episode. And stay tuned for the next one. Have a great day, everyone. The Loyalty Builders podcast is brought to you by the team at Open Loyalty, an API-first loyalty engine that allows you to implement loyalty and gamification features into your tech stack faster than developing them from scratch.